The guy that I whipped at bowling over the weekend. Oh, Nuggets. About to eat an expired Starbucks brownie, but dropped it to catch spaces. Good, I guess? Like, you don't want to eat an expired Starbucks brownie.
You genuinely
Here he is.
got the worst score I've ever witnessed via human real life at bowling.
That was my warm-up round, though. Well, tell them about the second round of bowling I did.
Went with a child
Did I get a picture
who
of it?
was 2, and he used the little line-up rolly thing, and he beat you.
I genuinely would have got a better score if
Yeah.
I just used that in the first
Yeah.
round. But then I wouldn't have had my eye in for the second round. I mean, I don't think any of us were putting up great numbers.
A
in all
clock
honesty.
is right 10 times a day. For the
Oh man, still glad I missed out on my delicious turkey, but never mind. We got there. Did okay. I'll take it. We're not even halfway to a perfect game, but hey. How you doing, Carlini? What's going on?
Yeah, not bad. Just
I've
been
got to leave
working
my
away.
glasses on. I wear glasses now. Did you know this?
Yeah,
I don't know if I mentioned it. Fuming. It is amazing though. I don't need to get new monitors now.
I mean, you've had your whole life like with your eyesight slowly degrading, not knowing that like life's actually in HD.
It's like, oh, now I can see things. Yeah, it's been a pretty fun day. Like I just walked home. We are recording, Dodo. Thank you. Um, can somebody send me that every week from now on? Actually, yeah, it's been pretty wild. Walked home from the opposition, just like I can see all the colours of the rainbow. It's been great.
I've got laser lined up.
Oh yeah, you were saying you need to like because that's like relasering, right?
Yeah, so I had it done when I was 21. I had it when I was maybe
Jeez.
22. And I was told
3 years ago, eh?
your
Christ.
eyes are still getting worse. Don't do it, or you'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
And I said, "Shut up, take my money, I'll do it." And even now, when I'm redoing it, my eyes are better than they were when I first had it done. So, I'm not too worried.
Are they said they're still degrading, and this will be, or have they stopped? So this will
No,
be
there's
like the
like a
permanent
certain
decks.
speed. Like if I think it was, if they're doing less than 0.5 a year, you're good to go. And I was still doing more than 0.5 a year. We're doing fun eye chat during our town hall.
This is great. Straight out of the gate with some eye chat. Yeah, well, I kind of ran through. I had the little green room open as I like to do. Made sure that we were recording, then made sure again, then started recording on OBS as well, just in case. Just some things that I want to talk about. I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about. Just stuff that's come up. Friend of the show, Anthony Hopkins, is releasing his own celebrity NFT art collection.
Whoa! Who didn't see that coming?
So weird. I just thought he was just having a little dabble. Like,
He burnt his Purr.
No, we didn't send him a Purr, thankfully.
Oh, it was a Metabot. I sent him a Metabot.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that was him.
He literally burned everything that anyone sent to him, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah, I think all the
Dear.
kids would call that
So,
base.
base. So yeah, he's obviously, a lot easier than making another movie, I guess, is kind of my feeling on it. He has been doing art for quite a while, to be fair to him, in the real world. So I don't know. But obviously, like Bill Murray recently, which I think was like purely with Coinbase. I don't know how that went. Apparently not well. Just other celebs seem to get in, kind of make a few splashes, and then it's like, oh, actually, I'm going to release my own
Yeah,
collection.
why do we hate on celebrities, but if artists come in, that's fine? Whereas, like you said, Hopkins has been doing that for ages.
Yeah,
Why are we laughing at him when just because he's done, you know, film? I guess film is art.
a film is art. Well, depending on the film that you go and see. But yeah, I guess, yeah, I think this has a little bit more integrity. But it always just seems to go that way. Did he actually buy anything? I know he did buy some art, didn't he? He bought a few little bits and pieces.
Yeah, he bought some NFTs as well, but the bear market. So we're eventually going to get back to the times where we were happy that celebs were coming in.
Whoa, Val Kilmer's getting involved? Is this true? I want some Val Kilmer NFTs. I'll be all over that. Yeah, so just thought that was quite interesting. I don't fully understand the whole BenDAO situation, and every time I say BenDAO, I just want to say BenDAO. Um, Basically, using NFTs as collateral doesn't seem like a great idea.
Well, it's fine,
Hmm.
but the unwinding isn't really too much of an issue. I don't think. I think a whole lot of nothing kind of came of it. There's been lots of dumpages in other collections anyway.
Hmm.
NFTFI is peer to peer. So if you want to loan out your board apes have been focused on. So I'll just I'll go with it. Your
Yeah.
board ape, people can sort of put bids in USDC. They'd say, "Oh, I'll give you this amount, and I want this much interest." And if you don't pay it back, they get your ape. Whereas the difference with BenDAO is it's sort of like a whole thing, like it's a big pool of them, and if people default, it's more like leverage trading than just a mortgage, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, so people were hitting, they were getting their apes liquidate. I think there was it 48 hours you had if the price was hit that would the floor price of the ape was hit that would liquidate your ape. You had 48 hours to basically pay to keep it. Otherwise, it went to a liquidation sale. Um, it just seems kind of dumb when NFTFI exists, and it's existed ages. Like before most of you were here, there was NFTFI just doing exactly what it does now, and it worked, and it was fine. And everyone who wanted, I don't even really know why you'd want to leverage out your NFTs when they're this volatile. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, I guess that was like my whole thing with it. Is just like, why were people doing this? But I guess this all kind of started a while back when everything was rainbows and bulls. Rainbow bulls?
Franklin did something like 10,000 ETH of volume on BenDAO because he
Jesus.
just constantly like his old pushing however many apes. It was like 42 at the start or something,
Yeah.
and like leverage out an ape, um, and then buy some more, and then leverage them out, and then buy some more, and then he got himself up to 60, and then I remember a few months ago he was in a bit of a pickle where he was going to lose some apes if he didn't get a certain amount of ETH or something like that. So he started selling, and then people were mad. NFTs are fun, man.
So that was kind of crazy. I also wanted to touch on Crawley Town beating Fulham last night, which I thought was pretty weird seeing like the BBC article about it, and it's just a big old chromy squiggle on the winning
Uh,
goal scorer's face. I
it
was like,
was wild because it's like all over the. I was driving around earlier to get my coffee, and it was all over the radio. Well, I say all over the radio. It was in the sports announcements. Um, like they didn't mention NFTs or anything crypto, but they maybe not in a positive light of Crawley. It goes Crawley Town second bottom in the football league.
Oh no.
Because like literally, if they get relegated, they're out the league, right? They're in
League
whatever
Two.
the tier
Yeah.
is, sort of. What even if a conference?
Yeah, it must be the conference. Yeah, yeah. But
Oxford
they'd be out of the football league.
for a bit. Yeah, because I mean, like, what even is the football league? It's like, why do you?
I don't know. Apparently, we watched League One on Saturday, so who knows?
We did. Did you go when they're in the conference?
No, I didn't. That's the first time I've ever been to the stadium.
Really?
Hmm.
I had
I'd
a
literally
I had
never been
a Christmas
before.
party there.
Oh no. I thought it was good fun. It was a little fun day out. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, the standard of football wasn't great, but it doesn't really matter. What
I
we
mean,
should have done,
thing,
we should
they're
have.
actually those players are actually amazing. Like,
That's what's like you're trying. I'm trying like so hard to like actually think. Oh no, but they're really really good. It's just that I'm used to watching players that are like stupidly good. Like watched the Newcastle Man City game Sunday afternoon. I was like, good lord, like a different sport. But yeah.
not sure how I feel about Crawley at the moment because they're bringing such a negative light on NFTs right now. Like
Mm,
when you just have a look at supporter forums and stuff like that, Crawley fans, there might be a core that engage more and like them, but because you know how football fans are, they haven't
mm,
started well, so it's NFT's fault.
yeah. Oh, completely.
Dumb crypto bros come into our club. We finished. Well, I think they finished like 12th last season or something. No, we're 22nd. What the fuck? Or 23rd. I mean, it's 3 games in.
Oh yeah, it's a hell of a long season, especially
So yeah, I mean,
down the leagues.
they got extra teams, right? So it's over 40,
Good lord.
42 games.
Yeah, it must be something like that. I'll tell you what, this League Cup's opening up, mate. I'm just watching the draw roll in now. This League
Oh,
Cup,
is it
so
happening right now?
yeah, yeah, we just about beat Tranmere. So obviously we're gonna win the whole thing.
Now we get Crawley free win.
That'd be amazing. I'd love that.
Fulham
Um,
basically play. The issue is Fulham basically played two players.
yeah,
Um,
this
so
is
so
not their fight.
when you read the news, it will sound like, oh my god, a team that's so low. This is like a Mighty Ducks situation. It it isn't. Like, it's not uncommon. It doesn't happen all the time, but like Man U must have been 3 seasons in a row losing to who did they lose to?
Oh, was it
Didn't
Exeter one year?
the like three really low teams knocked them out? And basically, what happened is Fulham played one player who started the last Prem game, and that was their keeper. And then they played their new thing of centre back signing,
Hmm.
kind of like in a go and have a run out, get some match fitness going type way. So it's not as wild as the headlines will make it sound if you're just hearing it and you don't follow the sport. Like it is a huge win. Like Fulham's academy players or second team, they will still be generally a lot better than Crawley players. So like they should still lose to Fulham. Fulham should beat Crawley, even with
Easily.
the team they put out. But it's not like their first team Premier League squad went out and got battered by. Uh, I mean, they're not part timers, are they? They're definitely full time, way down the league. But so huge achievement, but maybe not as huge of an achievement as it sounds when you first hear it, because Fulham, as
Fulham.
I heard on a few spaces, Fulham. So they've just gone up to the Prem
Again.
again. Yeah, they're an up down sort of sitch. I've just seen Rangers qualified.
Oh, sweet. For what? Europa League, Champions League.
Champions League.
Oh, let's go. Go on the Jers.
They drew 2-2 against PSV Eindhoven and they won 1-0 today away.
Magic.
Mm.
Oh, Ebo must have been watching that. He's a big Jers, big Jer guy.
Yeah, in England, not that big.
That's I couldn't find the record button last week because I was blind. Couldn't see. Um, so yeah, that was kind of like my little news roundup. Things going on that I wanted to kind of get your thoughts and feelings on. And then yeah, and then I guess the rest of it is we're just beavering away, just building away. Oh snap! The other thing I wanted to mention, before I get to the sales bot, big old speaking of Chromie Squiggles, big old Chromie Squiggle sale was like what, like 150 ETH, and then of course that little penguin went for 400.
That dude is loving it.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so two massive sales that wasn't really expected. And I just don't know, like, is that indicative of something else? Is that because things are still on a bit of a discount and people are feeling there's some big people feeling bullish? I don't know.
Well, the Pudgy Penguin was maybe not fully reported reports that he's a rugger,
Hmm.
and that's where he got the Eve from. If true, I expect a Zach Fred soon. Did you see the Fred he dropped today?
No, I didn't.
It was some guy, or even some 17-year-old, maybe a year or two ago, um, stole 37 million of Bitcoin from someone, hacked
Oh, is
him, or
this Cameron Redman? I've got it.
that's the one. And then he's done something to get Twitter access, and that's how he was gaining access to Twitter accounts that had 2FA.
Oh, like what happened to Zeneca?
Zeneca, Nouns, Beeple,
Oh yeah. Oh jeez.
all these people, yeah, and just basically ru- rugging people, fake minting people, stealing apes, all of that sort of stuff, because he could get Twitter access, and then was even selling it. So sold access to it for like 200 grand for one level of access, I think.
Christ.
Took in maybe 450 ETH for a different one. For lifetime access, when obviously lifetime isn't really going to be life.
Until I get court access.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
So he's probably off to jail.
Straight to jail. Oh man. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Anytime you see something like that, I'm like 400 ETH. Not no disrespect to Pungy Penguins. Obviously, been around a while. Been through it. Been up and down. But yeah, kind of seemed a little bit weird to me. It's like
Could have bought 100 floor pudgies.
could have bought 100 floor pudgies.
I wonder what would have caused a bigger stir, a huge floor sweep, or what he did. Because he's now got a lot of Twitter clout from buying it,
True. Very true.
and like he dunked on Gainsey today. But he has been doing those sort of videos for a while, so I don't know. It's interesting if you've got the money and you don't care too much about investment, because I can't see a world that now sells for a profit, but he can make it back in other ways, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, this is
Like you
what this is always
mentioned,
Thread Guy's advice, isn't it?
grind away.
Just buy yourself a mutant. Well, obviously not now, but just buy yourself a mutant, and then off you go. And then my last little bit of news. Need to tighten up this news segment, but I quite like it. SalesBot has returned, but with a new face, with a new lick of paint. So our SalesBot is now powered by OSnipe from quit.pcc.eth, which I think is just super cool and just really fun.
It's
Um,
great seeing it all on there, because we didn't really see the perks moving at all.
no, I would check them like occasionally and be like, oh, cool, someone's like swept a bunch of records, ledgers, hoodies, whatever. But yeah, to actually see them as sales coming in is really fun. And like super, this is going to sound like I'm shilling O Snipe, but genuinely it is super easy to use. Super, like I set it up, for goodness sake. This is how easy it is,
Oh, it's mega easy then.
right? with with minimal walkthrough from Quit. And yeah, you just kind of set it up.
Was
It's
it
like
really minimal?
it was very minimal. It will attest.
just
It will
just
attest. It
one
was.
session of stream sharing in Portuguese, and, and now your wallet's empty.
It was anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, all you do is you say, right, I want to see all the sales for this collection, and here's the channel I want to see them in, and then bosh, and it is like lightning fast. So, like as soon as it happens, it's in there. So yeah, just really really cool functionality. Um, Obviously, Quit's been a vocal community member, like cheerleader for us for a long, long time. So it makes sense from that regard. I think it kind of like hits easier than hitting a record button. I'm never living this down, am I? Like, yeah, it hits our whole thing of our community building stuff and raising NFTs up and pushing everything forward. So with community giveaways that I've mentioned loads of times before, from some of our community, from Curator Cat and the like the insane archive that's going, and now being able to use something that somebody else who's in our community has built from the ground up and kind of got everything going together is really cool as well. So yeah, it just kind of made sense. And then yeah, like you said, Carlene, it was like we can then see everything from across the whole universe going in there. And I'm pretty sure, if there's, when the tier two collection is up, we can add that on there as well and see those kind of running through as well. So yeah, super cool.
Yeah, what about that other thing that's coming?
Oh no, here we go. Here we go.
But we said it all last week. Oh, it wasn't recorded.
What a shame. What a shame. That was the secret spaces I did at 3 a.m. No, wait, that wouldn't work for US, would it? 6 a.m.? I, I
I've
never
seen
know when's late.
Alamo still up at 7, 8 sometimes.
Oh gosh, yeah. What are we up to? Oh yeah, it's only like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Goodness me, on the one of 4 time zones that I have. Um, yeah. So I think what we said last week. There's an internal date that we have. I've actually forgotten what it is. Um, and then I think I referred to it as the Nexus date of like everything, not everything, but like a ton of stuff is all going to be available on the same day, which sounds very exciting and also quite stressful. It's lots of building to be done in between times. But yeah, super 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 exciting.
Yeah, so there is a date within, not going to say,
No, smart.
less
But
than less than 50 days,
here we go. Start the timer.
where a lot of stuff that is all launching at the same time, because it is all linked. It practically all relies on each other, which means even if we wanted to slow release it, it would be tricky. just because one thing needs another thing, which then needs another thing, and then there's that. I think
Mhm.
there's is there 4 new contracts coming?
At least four, but I think in the team meeting earlier there was mention of another one, but I don't know if that was actually necessary or not.
Was that after I left?
No, I think it was like, do we need another contract for this? And it was like, and then it was kind of, I think we then moved on to something else.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think so. This was another good thing of O Snipe from Quit, because it's like Hoddle's got a lot on, bless him.
Yeah, so lots coming. It will all be linked, and there is another big token sync that you don't know of,
Mm. Oh
which
wait, oh yeah, you don't mean me. I was like, wait,
how you would
another.
think.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, really cool. I like that it's all kind of like it's all built together as well. Like you said, like everything kind of is. I guess it'd be like opening a bar and not having any drinks available.
Well, we're going to have lots of drinks,
Mm.
and the it's going to continue like it's not fully fleshed all of it. It's I mean, with everything NFTs, it's always a rolling project anyway. There isn't a project out there that's complete, so you can always expect it to be constantly improving. But I am excited about the thing that people don't know about, because
Mm.
it can tie in to everything else that is exciting about what we're doing. It can tie into questing. It can tie into token. I mean, it obviously ties into token. It's a token sync. Uh, it can be used in merch. It can be in the metaverse. Um, the community, Alamo didn't come up with it. He reaffirmed something that was already in the works. And I say that as he's currently victory lapping in Discord, saying, "Let's go, woo," after I said he didn't come up
It's
with
like, oh no,
it.
oh no.
But yeah, it's a token sync. The goal is to make you want to spend your token here instead, well, there or tier 2 instead of selling it. I guess because we're not facilitating any sort of selling with the token. It's simply a crypto in our ecosystem that we're going to um, try to do lots of cool things with. Um, and the problem there is price, I guess, of token, because we don't know what we're really asking you to do, I guess, because if price of token is low and it's however much to mint a tier 2, we're not asking you to part with too much dollar wise to mint a tier 2. But then if token goes really high, then we are asking you to part with a lot to get a tier 2, which is where sort of pivoting comes into play. Because if token is high, then we will have the ability to change and to add more, because with a high token comes more value, so we could then try to lure your token back off you with higher value stuff, simply because the value now exists. The lots of exchanges create their own token, not because it's actually useful. you know you're getting yourself fees from off trading on their platform because you hold a token isn't needed. You don't need the token, but what the token does is it gives them sort of the ability to make deals. So if you think of crypto.com, they have Crow, which they made me lock up to get a card. But I didn't need to lock it up. That was just them sort of playing with the market so that they could spend, what was it, like 2 billion on the crypto.com arena and things like that. So we have to start under the assumption that we can't, say get to level 50 and you get a house. You know, we'll buy you a house somewhere. Get a plot of land if you get to level 50. That sort of thing. We can't promise that because obviously that's way over the top and would need Bitcoin levels of prices for token. But ignoring that and continuing to just dream, what I'm saying is we will adjust to, I guess, the market. And we're very aware that we are in a bear market. Um, it's it's pretty brutal out there, so we are going to adjust accordingly and make sure that we're not really, I guess, going for silly things at this time. We're playing it smart and I think fun. I think what
Hmm.
I don't even know what our plan is for when we tell people. So probably that means I tell you all before the end of the space. I just
No,
can't.
please, my social media plans.
I can't help it. I'm too. I'm
I
too.
think I think you said it. You said it on the team meeting earlier, which I thought was quite pertinent. Is like we don't want to lock ourselves into something like our 8 monthly airdrops that we promised and delivered. We don't want to get into that same, not a hole. A hole is probably wrong, but like getting into the point where it's like, well, we have to push forward with this because we said we were going to do it, and that's what we've always done as a project. Is we've said we're going to do this, and then we go do it. So yeah, I guess kind of having the ability as one of the core pillars of you said before is being able to pivot. So yeah, kind of not having everything sort of like super locked.
Yeah, we got the cheat code to pump in the floor. Um, so what we've done is we're learning.
Yep. Wait,
So we
what's
now want a floor.
the triangle?
Has that
Learning.
has someone just gemmed 50 ETH of pairs?
Hold on, 2 seconds.
So yeah,
Yes, they
the
have.
problem with one airdrop a month for 8 months on this ticket contract is it doesn't allow you the ability to assess. So we could see the the level of interest in the NFTs. We knew that people weren't buying pairs for that airdrop just by talking to you all and being there. Someone in the team is always living in the Discord, so we sort of know what's going on. So we didn't have that ability to pivot because we had locked into 8 months in a like literally 8 months was half and half from when we minted was half bull half bear. We just didn't know it was half bear at that point because the top was so down. And when you're continuing to work on something where the interest clearly wasn't as high as you hoped, it then didn't allow us to push forward with other things that we got a lot of ideas that were put on the back burner because we were working on other things. So I didn't want us to lock into something that would take a long time, that we couldn't adapt to the market conditions, that we couldn't sort of change the new meta. Not that it has to be the new meta, but what if something cool comes out of subdomains, and we want to do it, but we can't because we've said we'll do X for however long. So it's just to be flexible, and always the goal is to do whatever we think is best. Which I don't that seems to be bad in NFTs. People people don't like teams making decisions, which I don't know seems weird to me. Like it's not decentralized because you've made the decision. Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Like, yeah, I still don't really understand why that's a bad thing, but we've kind of
team,
had
the
this.
team can rug the whole project. Yes, they can do that
Yes,
without the ability to change the metadata.
yeah, can do that anyway.
Do you not know how this works?
Or they can try and do it and it doesn't because the community doesn't want them to, which has happened how many times? So yeah, I don't really get it. Um I think I whenever this kind of conversation comes up, I always think of Mufi saying like, if we did something that he didn't like, then he wouldn't rep us on Twitter anymore. But if he does like us, then he will, because then you have your trust in the team and you have your trust in what the project is, regardless of who has control over it. Like, we're not the only people in the project, like the whole community is. But yeah, I don't know.
I feel like the whole decentralization aspect requires a long term, huge project first. Like, I get
Mm,
why Bored Apes, but I think they burnt their keys to the contract, so they can't now change the token URI link, even if they wanted to. And that worries me as well because of improvements. Like, with everything on chain and the SVG stuff, what if a way comes in the future for everything to be fully decentralized and fully on chain? We just need to do something first. Maybe you can set a token URI to a contract, and you've got no access to the contract anymore, and it's all locked down, and then you point the token URI at that, and somehow now everything's on chain and the art is great and it can't be changed. But also, I am liking centralized metadata more lately, just because whenever whenever I speak to Hoddle about fun stuff I want to do, he always says like, right, well, it costs X gas to read, X to write, and if you do that 10,000 times, it's going to cost you the whole project every day. Paraphrasing, but it's along those lines. Whereas if it's centralized, we can do a lot of cool stuff often. I guess it's sort of how it is. Centralized is a dirty word, but it can be changed. Like it can be. So, for instance, mutants, Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Their metadata is pointing at a token URI that is their website. It's centralized. That must be how they made it so that um, when you use a serum on an ape and you get something that is related to that ape, that's how they do it. It's a centralized system on the back end. And maybe when all serums are used, they could then just whack all that up and point the token URI somewhere else. Um, but what it then allows is a lot of maneuverability. ETH still isn't great. We know this. We know the merge is coming, and just a PSA for everyone: the merge does not help gas. Stop. I haven't actually seen any Purrs tweet it, but everyone's tweeting, "Oh, the merge is going to make ETH so cheap to use." No, the bear market is making ETH cheap to use because the price has gone down and no one's using it. So no one, the bus analogy. People are paying to get to the front of the bus, um, and not many people want to go on the bus anymore. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, plenty of people do, but not quite as much as when you were happy to pay, $10,000 just to mint Bored Ape land because you knew you'd profit. Um, when it's profitable to use a chain, people are going to pay loads just because it was a free money time, and now people are thinking about their transactions more and not having silly bots that are doing loads of stuff. I remember when there was there was a last bear market, and gas was maybe as low as it was now. It kept having spikes. Could people would use bots to create contracts, just any useless junk contracts, purely because later on they could then destroy them when gas was high, and they get some sort of gas credits. So they were basically buying expensive bus tickets with prepaid cheap bus tickets in a way. Um, so there's always levels of demand, and the merge does not help that. The merge is just making ETH proof of stake basically. There's there will be very very little change like for you or I just as a user. Um, if you're smart, oh Dodo, what are you doing, Dodo? The merge is not going to make gas cheap. There's the whole I can't even the splurge
The, the splurge, the merge, the purge.
the purge is definitely one. The splurge is a joke one.
Yeah.
There's loads of things on effectively
Splurge
ETH
is my favorite
2.0.
one.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I guess what I'm saying is you will be seeing centralized metadata from us for the new thing, but that is on purpose and to make it fun. And if token goes up, we can make it also rewarding. And if it doesn't, like, we want it to be rewarding anyway. So I get that sounds bad. Uh, so the rewards will hopefully scale with tokens. So we're aware that when we're asking you to use token in our ecosystem, there is a cost that you're giving up, and we will do our best to make it worth that. Like I cannot promise, like this isn't how you pump bags, but I cannot promise that it definitely will be because no founder can ever do that, and you end up in death spirals when you start to promise that sort of thing. But
Just
at the
trying to
very
make you want to do it regardless of what the potential uh, monetary upside is, which
yeah,
obviously we're not going to get involved in. But it's like, I want to do this anyway because I'm having fun with my friends. The same way as, we mentioned it a few times before of like, although this might have been internal, but it's like you'd spend money on a mobile game or you'd spend money on stuff like in Fortnite or whatever else. It's like, you know, unless you're like a really good streamer, if you buy the battle pass on Fortnite, you're not making any money off of that, but you're doing it because it's fun. So I guess it's kind of like a similar thing.
well, oh no, oh no, I'm going to say it.
Yeah, I should have moved you off topic because we do
I
have some
was
questions,
I was the
none of which are
first
related to alpha that you might spill.
I was the first person in NFTs to really, really push leaderboards to try and make people, um, I guess, want to compete. And I had them made for
Oh,
crypto kitties. There it is.
we got there.
And that is how I basically lost all my money because I created a leaderboard to compete in something that then I raised the floor on what I was competing on. Like people thought I made loads of money because I I asked for a leaderboard to be made of something that I collected lots of. But then I bought it at higher prices because I made people want it. So I increased demand for something called low number fancies. which I had lots of, but then I bought more because I wanted them because I had a leaderboard made. So I like leaderboards. There isn't going to be one with everything else, but I would like one for this sort of stuff. Um, the collection log is still, I haven't said that word in a while,
Mm.
but I still love what it is. That isn't coming with everything else. That's an after thing because it's not needed, whereas everything else is needed. But I really like what that can be. Um, it, if you remember a long time ago when something called forums existed and people would talk and they'd have signatures at the bottom of posts and the posts would automatically update like your stats. So I remember having one for Halo and it would update my games and my kills and my wins. And I remember one for RuneScape and it would update my levels. I want something like that that's like your Twitter banner and it updates your holdings. Like, you've got 10 Purrs and then you buy another, and your Twitter banner would update to 11. Now, I have absolutely no idea. I don't think that's possible because your Twitter banner is just an image, but this NFT could do it, and maybe you just change it whenever you change your holdings. It would be really cool if Twitter would auto update, but the NFT side of things can be done. That's not a pipe dream, whereas the auto updating Twitter banner might be a pipe dream.
I mean, Twitter can't even get Spaces hosting on desktop, so yeah, that's probably asking a bit too much of them.
I'd also be interested in people's thoughts on changing our original collection to centralized metadata,
Mm.
because what I think is a really cool idea, honoraries. So Bored Apes, they used it as a marketing tactic early doors to get in, big crypto people and NFT people, and basically advertise the project. Now, I don't like that aspect, but they had honoraries. A lot of other projects have done them, and they're always on another contract. But what if instead of making it advertising, you made it rewarding? You've got Curator Cat, who has, built so much for our community. You've got the Shill, who is a complete degenerate. Um, what if you used a kind of Space Doodle style mechanic where people who had earned a honorary, maybe the community can vote on who they think deserves it, could flip a Purr of their choice into a one of one that we've made for them, and that would show on the main collection as more of a rewarding way. And if they sold it, that would be removed. So it is only for them. It doesn't. Maybe it adds value to their NFT because they own it, but then you could argue that they added the value. But then we could then remove that if they did ever sell it. So you wouldn't buy Curator Cat's honorary and be Curator Cat yourself. You'd then just get, it would revert back to the original cat, whatever it was. So it's just showing a different image for this this person of the community who deserves it.
So
Uh,
kind of like how the grandmas work in terms of when you've got the matching cereal, you've then got grandma holding the picture of the like the corresponding purr. So with this, you then give somebody something else that then means that it changes the cat to the like the purr that they've nominated it to then be this like special one for them,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
and I just think it's a better way of, with the way all the tools are going. For instance, you don't exist.
correct.
I was looking at NFT Inspect or whatever it was. Like it's properly looking at the images to find these people on Twitter. So it does not show you in our community
Damn bad.
because
After all
because
I've done.
because you're fake.
Yeah, because I'm not real. I don't even
So
work
it
here.
doesn't recognize you, despite the fact that you have all of these sort of images. Alex in shambles? No, because Alex is real.
He's real.
The wallet that he mainly uses doesn't own the the profile, but the websites don't know that. They just know that the image he is using is an NFT of ours. Whereas the image Papa is using is not an NFT. It's a scam.
It's a scam. I'm a scam.
Whereas you
What
could,
if I told you it's not even a JPEG, it's a PNG?
oh my god,
Here we go. Top community members. Not even in there. Not in the top 8.
I'm not sure they would be. I think we'd keep the metadata the same. I think it would just be an image change because then you would still be able to see what it would be. Like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's say someone lists that. My only concern when thinking about it is that you'd have a really cool looking cat at the floor if listed, and then people don't get it. Like you buy this, the guy who bought the 400 ETH Pudgy Penguin looking the other way. Imagine that was an honorary,
Hmm.
and they think, "Oh, that's great, I'll buy it," and then they don't get it.
It reverts back to whatever it was
Yeah,
prior. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how to. I don't know how you stop that.
I'm sure there's a way.
It just needs a bit more thinking, but that's that's another thing that I would like to come. Um, Law is going to have a new home.
Hmm.
Um, no,
Everything's gonna have a new home.
no,
It's gonna
no,
be beautiful.
no, no, stop.
The new website. The new website's coming, right? That's not. That's on the roadmap.
Okay. You
Okay.
like the Space Doodle, but then you have to wrap it. But the issue with the Space Doodle is it's not in the same contract.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like about it. Like originally when Poopy pitched it in our Discord, I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." My first thought was this honorary thing,
Hmm.
and just seeing how it's all on a different contract and how other projects like NFT Inspect will then just not sort of consider it. I'm just trying to think of what's the next best way.
I would like to be real someday.
Yeah,
It would be
then you
nice.
but
Yeah, then I'll just send it to Hawaii. Send it to my boy in Hawaii.
what about tier twos? What if we change the tier twos?
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah, I mentioned that briefly earlier. That'd be cool.
And then you'll
Well,
be ready.
then I'll be real. Then one day I can be a hexagon. Um, yeah. So basically, ton of exciting stuff. Building a lot and lots of fun things to come. Which is, I think, fun. Like the emphasis on that for stuff to come. I think is a good kind of um, a good way of putting it. I think that's kind of the most true because I feel like a lot of the stuff that we're building towards is probably the most fun to talk about and discuss and like see kind of renders and things coming through as like this is all like just exciting, fun, interesting stuff.
I'd
I don't
like to
know.
get people's ideas for the new thing as well.
Mm,
I feel like it's something that people could run with and help build the mechanism.
that's interesting.
And because it doesn't all have to be in the contract, that's the
We have
thing.
that. We have that ability.
Centralized. So if someone does come up, they see it because I have gone round and there's lots of projects that have done almost everything has been done by A projects. Like there's so many things, and a lot of things just don't go anywhere. And if the project isn't well known, I've got so many bags in my hidden OpenSea folder of NFTs where I can swap around basically traits. Like I've got a collection where I could put all of the traits onto a different NFT, and it went nowhere. I can't remember what it's called. I've got loads of them in my wallet, um, and it's not really seen, I guess. Whereas when I look for things similar to this new one, um, and try and analyze. I've DM'd quite a lot of people who were in these other projects that I've known in the past and spoken to for years, and like, hey, why did this one fail? Well, what do you think they did wrong? Just I'm sort of market research on not it's not the same thing. Um, it's maybe close-ish, and just trying to make it better and planning ahead that the community will come up with other ideas that we can add. So it will be complete. I'm not saying, we're waiting for you. Dava, I just found it.
Mm.
DAV, I have 50, and I can swap their traits around, and they have a floor of 0.
0. Nice.
I have a 0.06 offer on one. Oh no, 0.02. That's unfair.
Ah, Edge said, well, to be fair, Dodo said first, can we add one to the collection for Papa? And then Edge said, I'd vote to burn a cat from the vault and then mint me so the number is the same. I don't know if that's
Edge,
possible.
what I'm saying is almost that, but I'm so at its core, we have 10,000 NFTs, and those 10,000 NFTs look somewhere on most projects use IPFS. So our contract is told, look at this IPFS link, and IPFS then spits back effectively 10,000 files. What we could do is change one of those files to be Papa briefly.
Oh,
Like
for
you could
one wild night.
not even brief. I say briefly because it's you. So you would own the Purr, and let's say you got an honorary. I'm not sure you deserve it,
Oh,
but
come
we
on.
would change that to a Papa one of one, or whatever you want to call your Purr version. But if you sold it, it would go back. Uh, it would go back to what it was before, but we'd have to centralize the metadata for that, or we'd have to change the IPFS link on the contract. So we could change the cat in the metadata, upload a new IPFS folder, point it at the new one, and then if you ever listed it, like Fiat Maxi probably would, then we change it back. But like that wouldn't.
Hmm. That might work. Oh, no. Too much chatting. 0% chance I deserve an honorary. Come on. Can I tell the names? It should be good. So Carlini's phone's died. Airdrop for one PCC, one exclusive is next Spaces, which is next week. Hmm, 31st of August, maybe. So basically soon TM. Transactions sent before next Spaces. There we go. Very exciting. So yes, everyone who is eligible for said airdrop keep an eye on that. I imagine that we'll announce that at the time. We'll wrap it up there. I assume Carlini has fast charging, but it's also quite late, and we've been doing a lot of chatting. Thank you everybody so much for listening. This is recorded, as of course it is. So if you are listening back, thank you very much for listening. We are back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be playing some Fortnite, hoping to get a bunch of people in. We'll do in and out of games, streaming it, come in and have a chat, a bit of a chinwag, a bit of a debrief. If you want to ask me any questions, apologies for the couple of people that came up and requested stuff tonight. We didn't get around to it. I know there was a couple of questions in Discord as well. I think one of them was my opinion on Subway sandwiches. Subway sandwiches are good if you are A, drunk, or B, hungover, or C, somehow both. But yeah, apologies for not getting to the more serious questions today. We'll probably do another Q&A one soon once we've kind of released all this stuff on the big Nexus date. Yeah, biggest shout out to Quit again. Go and check out his project O Snipe. I think they are still minting right now. Super, super useful tool. It's been amazing for the sales bot so far, and long may it continue to do so. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. I've been a fake NFT as usual. Although I'm from the company account, so I'm technically real for now. And I will speak to you all tomorrow at Fortnite, or I'll speak to you